Hi guys, welcome back to another video of Great Stack. In this tutorial, we will learn about the Next.js version 14, where we will learn about the app directory of Next.js, image optimization, routing, dynamic routing, and API routes. Before learning Next.js, you should have the basic understanding of JavaScript and React.js. So, if you want to learn JavaScript or React, I will provide my YouTube video link in the description where you can learn JavaScript and React from beginning. While learning Next.js, we will also create a full stack application, that is to-do list app, where we will perform the CRUD operation. We will use the MongoDB database to store our to-do list data, and to design this to-do list app, we will use the Tailwind CSS. So first, let's understand what is Next.js. Next.js is a React framework to develop a full-stack web applications where we can create user interface with the help of React components. Next.js also provides many additional features and optimization. With the help of Next.js, we can use automatically configuring tools in React. In Next.js, we can perform bundling, compiling, and many operations automatically. So, using Next.js, you can create an interactive, dynamic, and very fast application. So, let's start to create a Next.js project. To create a Next.js project, we will use this command npx create next app latest. So, we will copy it from here and we will come back to the desktop screen. Here we will right click and select open in terminal. Now our terminal is open. Here we will paste that command npx create next app latest and press enter. Now it is asking for our project name. So here I will add the project name. We are going to create a to-do app in this tutorial. So here we will type to-do next app. Then again press enter. Here it is asking, would you like to use TypeScript? So we will select no. In this ESLint we will select yes, and in this Tailwind CSS we will select yes. We need this Tailwind CSS. Now we don't need any src directory, so we will select no, and here we need the app router, so we will select yes. After that we will select no. Now the project creation has been started. Now our project has been created. Now we will close this terminal, and here we have this project folder. So we will open this folder in VS Code editor. We will right click here and select open with code. Now our project is open in VS Code editor. So here we have to run this project. To run this project, we will open the integrated terminal. We will right click here and select open in integrated terminal. So in this terminal you can see we are in the to do next app folder. Now here we have to add one command to use the next app. So we will add npm run dev. So it will run the project. Now our project has been started on this localhost port 3000. So let's open this address in our web browser. We will type localhost :3000. So you can see the next app is successfully running in our browser. Now we will see the folder structure of this next project. So first we have .next folder. So this folder gets created after running our project. So in this folder, the server cache file and development related caches file will be stored. Next we have the app folder, which is the main folder for the next app. So whenever we will use the app router, we will use this in this app folder. After that we have node modules folders. This node modules folder stores all our dependencies. Then we have the public folder. In this public folder, we can place any file and that file will be accessible publicly to any user. So here we have two files, next.svg. So let's come to the browser and here we will type /next.svg. So you can see we can get the logo of the Next because this logo is stored in the public folder. Now let's come back. So after this public folder, we will see the .gitignore file. If we are using the Git in our project and if we want some of our important files will not get uploaded on Git, then we will use the .gitignore file. After that, we will see the package.json file. In this file, we have the metadata related to our project name, version, and we have the scripts. As we have used npm run dev command to run this project, so in this script you can see dev command is there. In this dev command, it will execute the next dev. After that, we have the dependencies data where we have the React DOM and Next application. After that, we have the developer dependencies where we have the Tailwind, ESLint, Post CSS, Auto Prefixer. After that, we will open the app folder and here we have multiple files. So this is the favicon.ico that is displayed here in the browser title. After that, we have the global.css file. So in this file, if we add any CSS property, we can use that in all our components. Then we have the layout.js file. So this is our root layout where we have the metadata with title and description. So if I change this title and we will place another text, let's type to do next app and save the changes and come back to the web browser. So you can see in the browser title we have the to do next app. After that, we have the root layout where we are rendering this HTML file. Here we have the body tag and in this one we are rendering all the children of the app route. Then we have the page.js file, which is the component file that we use for file system based router. Right now we are in the app directory and here we have the page.js file in this directory, and this is getting rendered on our home page, which is localhost port 3000. Because this file is in this app folder, so if we make any changes in this file, that will be reflected on this URL. After that, we will clean this project. To clean this project, we will remove this main tag from this page.js, and here we will simply use fragments and we will remove this import statement. After that, we will clean this CSS file. So from this CSS file, we will keep this 3 lines and delete other codes. Now save this file and come back to the browser. So now you can see our Next app is completely clear. Now we will see what are client component and server component. All the components which are rendered on this server, that is known as server components. So using the server component, we can provide the rendered data to the user instantly. So our Next application will be loaded very fast on the user's device, and using the server component, we can improve the SEO of our Next application so that the search engine will easily crawl our pre-rendered HTML file. With the help of that, our application visibility in the search engine will be improved. Using the server rendering component, we can improve the security also for our website. For example, when we are doing the server side rendering, then our sensitive data and the logic will not be served to the user. The user will only receive the result created using that logic. After that, we will see what are client components. So the client components are those components that are rendered on the client side. Using the client component, we can create the interactive and dynamic user interfaces. So the client component can handle the user input, it can handle the DOM, and it will respond on any event that is essential for creating the modern application. So the client component is very useful for some elements like form and to display animation and to update the real-time data. Our client component is very lightweight because we load only necessary JavaScript code in the client side so that our bundle size will be reduced. After that, we will see the app router of Next.js. So the Next.js uses a file system based router. Using that, if we create any folder in this app folder, that will be converted in a route. And if we create another folder in that, that will be converted in the nested route. So let's see how to create a route. So we will create one folder and we will add the folder name dashboard in this app folder. And in this dashboard folder, we will create one file that is page.js. And here we will use RAFCE. Now we have created one page component. After that, if I type h1, we are not getting any suggestions because the file extension is .js. So in the right bottom, we will click here and we will use JSX. So now we will get the suggestions for the JSX file. So here we will type h1 and in this one we will type the text. We are on the dashboard. Now if we come to web browser and in the URL if I type /dashboard. Now you can see the text, we are on the dashboard. So the route has been created, that is /dashboard, because we have created one folder called dashboard in the app folder, and in this dashboard we have created the page.js file. So the app folder is the root route and the page.js file for this app is here. Next we will see how to create the nested route. So in this dashboard folder we will create another folder. So let's add the folder name settings, and within this settings folder we will create one file. So the file name is page.js and here we will use the RAFCE and here we will select the JSX and here we will add one title in h1 and we will add the text. We are on the /dashboard/settings. Save the changes and now we will come back to the web browser, and right now we are on the dashboard route. Here we will type /settings. So now you can see we have the message we are on the dashboard/settings. So the message that we have added here, that is getting displayed on the web page. So using this method we can create the nested route. So here we have the app folder that is known as the root segment, and whatever we have created here, that is segment. And in this segment we have created any route that is known as leaf segment. So after learning the route, we will see the dynamic routing. So to learn the dynamic routing, here in this app folder we will create one folder and the folder name will be greeting. So we will create one new folder and write the file name greeting. And in this greeting folder we will create a new folder and the folder name will be name. And in this folder we will create one file, that is page.js. Here we will use RAFCE. Now the component is ready. Here we will click and select JSX. And here we will add one title in H1. So let's add the text, nice to meet you. Now save the changes and we will come back to the web browser and we will open greeting/name path. So here we will type /greeting/name. So here we have the message, nice to meet you. Now if I want to provide any name on this path, like John, and this name should be displayed on the web page. Right now we are getting the 404 page. This page could not be found because we have not created this route. So to use the dynamic routing, we will use the dynamic segment. To provide the dynamic segment, in this name folder, we will add the square brackets. So just rename this with the square bracket, then save it. Now we have the greeting, and if I add any name, we will get this component. So here, if I add John, and we have the message, nice to meet you. If I type something else like Joy, still we will get nice to meet you. Now I want this dynamic name to be displayed on the web page using the component. For that we will use the padams. So just come back, and in this page.js file, here we will add curly braces and padams. After that, in this title, we will add the space and curly braces and type padams. And from this padams we need name. We will add .name because we have added the folder name with the name. That's why we are adding padams.name. Suppose the folder name will be your name, then it will be padams.yourname. So save the changes, and if we come to the web browser, so you can see the message, nice to meet you, Joy. If I change the name in the path, we will add Elon. So you can see the message, nice to meet you, Elon. So this is how you can implement the dynamic route in our Next app. Now we will see how we can create the metadata using this dynamic segment. So basically we are going to use this dynamic segment to display our browser title. So let's come back, and here in this app folder we will create a new folder and we will add the folder name blog. And in this blog folder we will create a dynamic segment folder. So we will use the square bracket and we will add the name post. And in this post folder we will create a new file. So the file will be page.js, and here we will use RAFCE, and here we will select JSX. Now we will add the text in H1 tag. So the text will be post colon, and the post will be from the padams. So we will add the padams here in the curly braces, and here we will add curly braces padams dot post because we have used the post in the dynamic segment. So we'll add padams dot post. After that, save the file, and if I come back to the web browser, and here if I type blog slash, and here if I add any name like Harry Potter cast, so we have the data post Harry Potter cast. Now we have to display this data in the browser title using the metadata. So let's come back, and here we will create a new file. So we will define one layout that we have here in the root folder. So in this post folder, we will create a new file, and the file name will be layout.js. So just add layout.js in this post folder, and here we will define one layout. So first we will type const blog layout is equal to, and here we will use one arrow function. Now in this parameter we will pass children, and here we will return the same children that we have received using parameter. Now we have to export this layout, so we will add export default, and here we will provide the blog layout. Now save this file. Now our next project has compiled successfully. After that we have to create the metadata, so here we will type export, and here we will export one async function, and the function name will be generate metadata. So we will add the async keyword, then function, and the function name generate metadata. And here we will get the params using the curly braces. So just add params, and then we will return. So we will return one object, and in this object we will add the title property, and in this title property we will use params dot post. So the post will be added in the title. Now save the changes and come back to the web browser. So now you can see we are on the path Harry Potter cast, and in the browser title also you can see the same thing, Harry Potter cast. So we have provided the metadata in this title property. After that we will remove this dash from this title. We will add the space. For that, here we will use the .split method, and here we will provide the dash, and after that we have to join, and we will provide the space between the text. Now save the changes. Here we are getting some error, so we have to remove this semicolon because it is one object. So remove it and save it again. Now if I reload the web page, so you can see here we have the Harry-Potter-cast, and in the browser title you can see Harry Potter cast with a space. We don't have dash here. Now this title is looking perfect. Now in this path, if I type blog/new post and press enter, so you can see post, new post, and the browser title is new post. Suppose if you want to use this feature in the React, then you have to use the React router DOM. But in this Next, we can directly use this feature without using any library. After that, we will close these files. Now we will see how we can optimize any image in the Next.js. So first we need one image file. For that we will create one folder in this project's root directory, and the folder name will be assets. In this assets folder we will insert one image. So here we have one image, sample image. Let's remove it and we will place it here in this assets folder in our project. After that, close it and open the VS Code editor. So in this assets folder you can see we have the sample image in this assets folder. Now we will use this image on the /images directory. So here we will create one new folder and the name will be images. And in this folder we will create one file that will be page.js. Here we will use RAFCE. Now select JSX type. And here we will try to add one image tag, and in that image tag we will add this image. So first we will import this image. So just add import sample image from assets folder /sample image.jpg. So now we have imported this image, and here if I type, we will show the image here and save the changes. And if I come to web browser, and here we will type /images. So you can see the message, we will show the image here. Now if I add one img tag, and in this src if we provide the sample image and save the changes and come back to the web browser, so you can see we don't have that image, because in the Next.js using this img tag we can access only images that are placed in the public folder. We cannot use the imported image. So to use the imported image on the web page, we will use the image tag. So we will type image, select it. We get this image tag from the Next/image library. We will select it, and you can see here we will get one import statement, image from Next/image library. So in this one we will add the src, and here we will provide the sample image and close it. And here we will add one alt property. Let's add sample image. Now save this, and if I refresh the web page, you can see we have the image on the web page. Right now this image is in very big size, it has the high resolution. So let's come back and we will duplicate this line. We will create one copy of this image, and in this one we will provide the width, let's say 500, and save this. Now we will come back to the web browser, and here first we will reload the web browser, and here you can see we have the large image, then we have one small image, because we have used two image tag and we have added the width 500 for the second one, that's why it is small. Now what is difference between this image? So if I download this image, the large one, we will select save image, and here you can see the file size for this image is 1455 KB. And if I save the second image, now you can see the file size has been compressed and it is only 60 KB. So if we use this image in the React, it won't compress the image, but in the Next app the image size has been compressed according to width. That will reduce the loading time for overall project and the next application will be loaded very fast. So using this image tag that we are getting from the next/image library, we can set the width or height for the image so that the image will be compressed for the particular size. And the user will see the compressed image, so that will take less time to load the image. Now we will close it and we will delete these files: blog, dashboard, greetings and images. Now we have deleted all the folders. After that, we will start creating the to-do app. So first let's delete this assets folder also. Now we will create one folder with the name components in the root directory of our project. So here we will click on new folder and we will add the folder name components. Now in this folder we will create one navbar component. So we will add a new file and the file name will be navbar.jsx. And here we will use RAFCE, and here we will create one basic navbar. So here in this div we will add one class name, and the class name will be flex, then padding from y-axis 3, then flex wrap and justify around. After that, in this div we will create one h1 tag, and here we will use to do app, and in this h1 tag we will add one class name property, and here we will provide text large, text LG, then we will add the font semi-bold. After this h1 tag, we will create one UL tag, and in this UL tag we will create 4 li tags. So we will type li into 4, and here we will add home. Then in the second one we will add products. In the third one we will add about, and in the fourth one we will add contact. After that, in this UL tag we will add one class name property, and here we will use flex, gap, 40 pixel, then text medium. Then save the changes. Now we will mount this navbar component in the app route layout file. So here in this body tag, before this children, we will mount that navbar component. So now we have mounted this navbar here. So this navbar will be available in all the component. Now if I come to the web browser, so here if I come to the root directory, so here we have the navbar, here we have this text to do app, and then these li tags. After that we will create the UI for our to do app. For that, let's create some fields like input field, text area field. Using that we can enter the title and description. So let's come back, and here we have the page.js file, and here we will select JSX. We can use the HTML snippets in this JS file. So first here we will create one form tag. After creating this form tag, we will remove this action from here, and here we will type class name, and in this class name first we will provide flex. Then we will add items start, then flex call, then we will provide gap 2, and then we will provide width 80%. After that we will provide the max width, so we will type max W, and here we will provide 600 pixel. After that we will add margin top 24, and here we will type padding from the x-axis 2, and margin x-axis it will be auto. So we have added the CSS properties for this form tag. Next we will add the input tag in this form tag. So here we will add the input, and the type will be text. Here we will type the name property, that will be title. Then we will provide the placeholder, it will be enter title. After that we will add the class name. So in the class name we will provide px3, py2, then we will use the border 2, then we will add the width full. Now save the changes. Now we will come back to the web browser. So here we have one input field where we have one text enter title. We will use this field to get the title. After that we will create one text area box. So we will type text area. In this name property we will add description, and we will remove this ID, column and row. Now we will add the placeholder, that will be enter description. Then we will add the class name property. In the class name we will provide px3, py2, border 2, width full. Now save these changes and come back to the web browser. So here we have one description box. Now we will create one button that will submit this title and description. So after this text area we will create one button tag, and in this button tag we will define the type. It will be submit. Now we will add the button text, that will be add to do, and we will add the class name properties for this button tag. So we will add the class name, and we will use the background orange 600. Then we will use padding from the y-axis, it will be 3, then padding in the x-axis it is 11, then text white. Now we will save it and come back to the web browser. So here we have the title field, description field and one button, that is add to do. After this we have to display the to do. For that we will create one table. So to create the table we will search for Tailwind table, and we will open this link, that is the website Flowbyte. Open this website. Here we have the table. So we will copy this code for this table. Just click here to copy, and we will come back to the VS Code editor, and below this closing form tag we will paste that table code. We will click here and select format document. So here we have the class, but in the React we use the class name property. So we will replace it with class name. So I will select this class is equal to and press Ctrl F, select this one, and here we will type class name equal to. So wherever this class is equal to is available, it will be replaced. Select this option to replace all the text. Now you can see it has been replaced. Now save these changes and we will come back to the web browser. Let me close this, and here you can see we have one table on the web page. Now we will modify this table. So we will add some extra class name in this div. So we will add margin from the top 24 and we will provide the width 60%. Then we will provide the margin from the x-axis, that is auto. Then save the changes. Now you can see the table size is perfect. We have reduced the width of this table. We have provided the margin auto from left and right side, so it is in the center. Now instead of this product name we will add the ID. Here we will add the title. Then we will use the description, and here we will display the action buttons. So let's rename it. So we will remove this product name and we will place ID. At this color we will add title. After that, at this place of category we will add description, and after that remove this price, and here we will add a status. Now let's create another copy of this th tag, and here we will add action. Now save the changes. So here we have the ID, title, description, status, and action. Here we have 3 rows. So we will remove 2 rows. Let's come to the code file, remove this tr tag. Now save the changes. You can see now we have only 1 row. After that, here we will go to components folder. In this components folder we will create a new file, and the file name will be todo.jsx. Here we will use arrayfce, and we will come here in this page.jsx file, and here we have this row. This row we will cut this, and we will paste it here in this todo.jsx. Here we will paste the tag that we have removed from that file. So we have added this tr tag here. Now save the changes, and here let's remove this text, and at this product name we will add the ID. It will be 1. Then we need the title. So here we will add the title like study, and at this place, which is description, where we will add learn Next.js. After that we have to display the status of our to do. So here we will type pending, After that, we will create one copy of this TD, and here we will add the action buttons. So we will create two buttons. So the first button will be for the delete and the second button will be for done button. If we will click on the done button, this pending status will be changed into completed. So here first let's create one button with the button tag, and here we will add the button text delete, and we will provide the class name property. Here we will add the py2, px4, then bg red 500, then text white. Save the changes and come back to the web page. Right now this table data is not displaying here, so let's come back, and we have to mount this to do component. So we will mount this to do component in this page.js file within this tBody tag. So here we will mount the to do component and close it. After that, save the changes and again come back to the browser, and you can see here we have the ID 1, title study, description, learn Next.js, status pending, action, delete. Now we will create one more button, that is done. So we will come back to the todo.jsx file, and after this button we will create one more button tag. And here we will add the class name property. Here also we will provide py2, px4, and here we will add the background green color. So we will add the bg green 500, then we will add the text white, and here we will add the button text. That is done. Now save the changes. Now we have the delete and done button. Now we will add the space between these buttons. So here we will type flex and we will add the gap 1. Then save the changes. So our design for the to-do app is ready. Now we will create multiple dummy to-dos. We will come back to the page.js file, and here we have mounted one to-do. Let's copy it and duplicate it. So we have added 3 to-do. Save the changes. Now here we have the 3 row. Now we will create one state variable where we will store the title description. So let's hide this terminal, and in this page.js file we will create one state variable. So we will type const and the name of our state variable. So it will be form data, and the name of the setter function will be set form data equal to use state. So we will initialize this form data with one object where we will add the title property, and here we will provide the empty string. Then we will add the description property, and here also we will provide the empty string. So here we have created one form data format where we will store the title that will come from this input field. Then we have the description that will be stored from this text area box. Here we have used the use state. Let's save the changes and come back to the web browser. Here we are getting one error. It says you are importing a component that needs use state. It only works in a client component, but none of its parents are marked with use client. So they are server components by default. It means when we create one component in our Next app, by default it will be a server component. And in the server component, we cannot use the React hooks like use state, use effect. So first, we have to convert this component into client component. To convert it, we have to copy this use client text, copy this and place it here at the top of this code. Then save the changes and come back to the web page. Now it works, so that error has been solved. Next, we will create the onChange handler function that will take the data from the input field and text box, and it will store in the title and description. So here we will add const onChange handler equal to arrow function, and in this function parameter we will pass the event. Using this event we will check the input and text area name property. If the name property contains title, then we will store its value in the name property, and if it is description, then we will store the value in the description. So for that, here we will type const name equal to e.target.name. So when we write this and we will add any input here, so we will get to know for this name property we are adding the input. Now we will get the value of that input field. So we will add const value equal to e.target.value. From here we will get the value of that field. Now we will use this set form data, and for this name field we will save the value. So here we will add set form data. Here first we will pass the previous form data, and in this one we will use the curly braces, and here we will use the spread operator. So our previous form data will be used, and in this name field we will save the value. Using this, our data will be stored in the state. After that we will add console.log so that we can see our data is getting changed or not. So we will add form data. Now we have to link this onChange handler with this text area and input field. So here we will provide onChange property, and in this one we will provide the onChange handler function. Now we will add the value property in this input field, that will be form data dot title. Similarly, in this text area also we will add the value property, and here we will add form data dot description. Now save the changes, and here we will open our console. After that, in this title field, let's add some text, study, and in this description we will add let's learn Next.js. So here whenever our data is getting changed, then our onChange handler is running, and then you can see the input data in the console. So here you can see at the end we have the description, let's learn Next.js title study. So our onChange handler function is successfully running. Now if I click on this add to do button, our page is getting refreshed. But I want to execute one function when we click on this button instead of reloading the web page. For that, let's come back, and here after this onChange handler function, we will create one arrow function, and the function name will be onSubmitHandler. We will add const onSubmitHandler, and it will be one asynchronous arrow function. So we will add async, then arrow function, and in this function first we will use e.prevent default. So when we click on the button, it will not refresh the web page. Now we will link this function with our form tag. So here we will add onSubmit, and in this onSubmit property, we will add the onSubmitHandler function. Here we will correct the spelling handler. So we have provided the onSubmitHandler function in this onSubmit property. Now save the changes, and if I come to web browser and let's click on this button, you can see still our web page is getting reloaded. So let's come back, and here we have not passed the event, so we will add e, and using that we can perform the prevent default function. And now save the changes, and now if I click on this button, now this page will not reload and our data will be saved successfully in the form data. After that, we will create one try and catch block, and after that let's add one comment, and in this one we will add API code. So here we will add the API code for our to-do application. To use the API, first we have to install the Axios package. So let's search for Axios and open this. Using this Axios, we can easily send the network request. Now we will install this Axios package. So we will use this command, and after that we will install React Toastify library. So open React Toastify. It is very good library to display the toast notification on the web page. So you can see these type of notifications you can create easily using this React Toastify library. So we will use this in our project. So let's come back to our VS Code editor, and here we will open our terminal. Now we will stop this project using Ctrl+C, press Y, then we will install Axios. So we will add npm I Axios. Now it will start installing our package. Now the Axios package has been installed. Next we will install the React Toastify. Press enter. Now it is installing the Toastify package. Now both package has been installed, that is React Toastify and Axios. After that we will run our project again. We will type npm run dev Now our project has been started. Now let's come back to the web browser and close these extra tabs. Now first we will show this toast notification when we will click on this add to do. To use that, we will come back here, scroll the web page, and here we have to add this import statement. Let's copy it and we will come to page.js file and place it here. Place that import statement. Now we have to mount this toast container. So here in this return we will add opening arrow, then toast container / closing arrow. So we have mounted this toast container before this form tag. After that we will use this toast function for creating the toast notification. So let's hide this terminal. And here in this try block, after adding the API code, here we will display one toast notification. For that we will use the toast.success, and here we have to provide one message. For now, let's add one message, success, and save the changes. After that we will come back to the web browser and let's reload the web page. After that, if I click on this add to do, you can see here we have one toast notification which is success. So let's see the documentation of this Toastify package. Click here. And here we want it in top right side, success, in the dark theme. So we have selected the dark theme and click on show toast. So we will get this type of toast. Now we have to copy this theme property, theme equal to dark. We can provide this property in the success method or toast container, any one of these two. We want all the toast in dark mode, so we will add this theme dark in the toast container. So we will provide this theme is equal to dark in toast container component property section. So let's copy it and come back to the VS Code editor. And here we have the toast container. Here we will add the property theme equal to dark. Save the changes. Now if I reload the web page and click on the add to do button, so you can see the toast notification in dark mode. After that, suppose we get any error, in that case we will create one toast error. So we will add toast.error, and here we will show one message error. Now save the changes. Now our UI part has been completed successfully. We have added this toast notification also. After that, we will create the API routes for Next.js application. That will be our backend for this project. So now we will start the backend part of this project. So first, to create the backend, in this app folder we will create one folder and the name will be API. So we were using the layout.js file and page.js file to create the UI component, but now to create the API we will use route.js file. In this API folder, if I create page.js file, so it will be converted in normal page route but we want one API route. So to use the API route, here in this folder we will create a new file and the name will be route.js. So this route file will create the functionality to create the custom handlers for the HTTP methods. For example, get, post, put, patch, delete, and options. First, we will create one custom request handler for the get method using the Next server. So here we will type export async function, and here we will provide the function name get. In this get, we will add a request, and here we will return next response. We will import this next response from the Next server, and using this next response we will generate one response that will hit this API endpoint. So we will add .json method to generate the response. Here we will generate one response that will be one object, and here we will add the message property, and here we will add get method hit. Now we will save the changes. Now we will come back to web browser. Let's close this tab, and here if I type localhost port 3000/API, if we come to this API endpoint, so here we have one object where we have the message property and the value get method hit. So our API is successfully working. Similarly, in this API endpoint, we will create multiple custom methods like put and delete. So first, we have to set up our database. For the database, we will use the MongoDB Atlas database. So we will search for MongoDB Atlas, and here we will open this website, MongoDB Atlas database. MongoDB Atlas database is a NoSQL database where we store the data in object format. So in this project, we will use the MongoDB Atlas. We will create a new account. So I already have an account, so I will click on sign in, and I will sign it with my Google account. So here first we will create one project. So we will click on new project, and we will provide the project name, projects, and we will click on the next button. Then we will click on create project. Now our project has been created. Now we will create one database. So we will click here on database section and click on build a database. So here we will select this free server where we will get 512 MB storage for free. This is sufficient for our project. So select this one, M0 free server. From here you can select the server provider, AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. So I will select the Google Cloud. Then you can select the region. You can select the nearest region so that your database latency will be low. Then you have to provide the cluster name. So I will keep it the default value, cluster 0, and click on this create button. Now we have to create one user. For this user, we will create one username. So here we will add one username, GreatStack, and after that we have to set one strong password. Then click on this create user. Now the user has been created. After that, here we have to provide the access list. So the access for this database is currently available for this particular IP address, that is my current IP address. But we will remove it, and here I want this database to be accessed from any IP address. For that we will add 0.0.0.0. Then click on add entry. So our database will be accessible for all the IP. Then click on finish and close. Then go to overview. So our database has been created. After that, we have to link this database with our Next.js project. For that, we have to do some configuration. So first we have to install one package, that is Mongoose package. So we will stop the project, and here we will install the Mongoose package using npm install mongoose and wait for the installation to be completed. So using this Mongoose package, we can connect the MongoDB database with our Next.js project. So our package has been installed. Now we will run the project again using npm run dev command. Now this project is running. After that, we will create one folder in the root folder, and the name will be lib. And in this lib folder, we will create one folder and the name will be config. So we will create a new folder, config. In this config folder, we will create new file and the file name will be db.js. So in this db.js file, we will add the logic. Using that, we can connect with our database. So first, we will create one async arrow function, and the function name will be connectdb. So we will add export const connectdb equal to async arrow function. So we will add the async, then arrow function. So in this arrow function, we will use the mongoose.connect function. To use that, we will add await. Then we will add mongoose. Select this. So it will be imported automatically. Then we will add .connect. And in this one, we have to provide our MongoDB database connection string. So we will come back to the web browser and we'll click on this connect button. After that, we will select Compass. I have MongoDB Compass installed. Then we will copy this string and paste it here. So here in this password field, we have to provide the password. So remove this, and here we will add the password. After that, in this database, we can create multiple projects. So after this slash, we have to provide the project name, that is our to-do app. So we have provided to-do app after this slash at the end of this connection string. So after the connection is complete, we will add one message in console. So let's add console.log db connected. So whenever the database will be connected, and we will get one message db connected. Now we will use this ConnectDB function in our routes. So first we will use the ConnectDB in the individual function like get, but we will not use that because I don't want to repeat the same code. For that, here we will create a separate function for the database. So we will add const load db equal to, and this will be one async arrow function. So let's add async arrow function, and in this one we will call the ConnectDB function that we have created in the db.js file, and here we have added export. So come here in the route.js file and we will add await, and here we will call ConnectDB function. So we have called this function. After that we have to call this loaddb function. So we will type loaddb and we will call it. So whenever our route will be initialized, first this loaddb function will be called and we will be connected with our database. After that, let's come back to the browser, and if I reload the web page, and you can see the message in terminal db connected. One thing you need to remember when we are dealing with server and we are doing the console log, that log will be displayed in our terminal. And if we are working with the UI and we do the console log, then the console log will be displayed in the browser. After that, we will create the MongoDB models for the to-do app. Using that, we can create the new to-do and save it into the database. For that, we will come to lib folder, and in this folder, we will create another folder with the name models. And in this models, we will create the to-do model. So in this model, we will create a new file, and the file name will be to-do model.js. To create any model, first we have to create one schema for that model. So a schema is one format or structure. In that format, we have to store our data in the database. So for the to-do, we will create one schema. So we will add const schema equal to new, and we will use the mongoose package, then schema constructor, and in this one we will provide one object. In our to-do, first we will add the title property. So let's add the title and we will define the title. The title type will be string. So we will type string, and after that we will add required true, so that if we don't have any value in the title, then it won't be stored in the database. Then we will define the description property, and the type will be string, and here also we will use required true. Using that, when we don't provide any description, in that case that to-do will not be saved. After that, we will add one property is completed, and here the type will be boolean. So we will add boolean, and in this one we will provide one default value that will be false. So whenever one to-do is created, it means that will be incompleted. In that case, the default value will be false. After that, here we will define the timestamp. So here we will add timestamp. S will be capital, and remove this S. It will be timestamp. This will be true. Now our schema has been created where we have added title, description and is completed property. Now we will create the to-do model. For that, here we will add const to-do model equal to mongoose dot model, and here we will provide to-do, and after that we will provide our schema. So we will provide schema. Using that, our model will be created. We can define the model only once, we cannot change the model again. If we run this project multiple times, so it will create multiple requests to create this model, and that will generate the error. To solve that, here we will add mongoose.models.todo. Then we will add this here. So after adding this, if this to-do model is available, then it will be stored in this to-do model variable. And if this model is not available, in that case, using this schema, it will create one to-do model. After that, we have to export this model. So we will add export default to-do model. Now for this to-do, we have created one model. Next we will come to route.js file, and here we will create one custom handler for the post method. So we will copy it and paste it here and remove this get, and here we will add post, and in this message we will provide to do created. When we hit this post method, in that case we will send the title and description as a request from our input fields. After that, in this request we will receive the title and description. First we will destructure that. So here we will type const title and description equal to await, because this process can take time, so we are using await, and we will add request.json method. So whatever data we are sending in request like title and description, we will destructure it in this title and description, and using that we will create the to-do data in our database. So here we will type await, and here we will use the to-do model. When we select it, this to-do model will be imported here from the libmodels to-do model file. After that, here we will add .create method, and here we will simply provide one object as we have defined in our schema. So we have to provide the title and description only. This is completed property will be added by default false. So in this object we have to provide the title. After that we will provide the description. So we have used the title and description that we have destructured from the request. So our post method has been created. Now save this file and we will check this route. So in the browser address, if I add any API address and press enter, that hit will be sent as a GET request. But here we have created a post request. To test this post request, we will use one extension which is Thunder Client. So we will come here in this Thunder Client, we will click on new request. Here we will select the post method, and here we will provide the endpoint address, that is http localhost port 3000/API. Here we have selected the post method and we have provided the endpoint address. Now here in this body we will send one JSON file, like we will add one object and we will define the title property and we will add the value testing. Then we will define the description property, and in this description we will provide testing. And if I click on this send button, so here you can see the message DB connected, and in the response you can see message to do created. It means our endpoint is successfully working. Now we will come to the web browser. We will open this MongoDB Atlas page. We will click on the database and we will click on browse collections. So in this collections we have the to-dos, and in this to-dos you can see we have added one data. Here we have the ID that is generated by default in the MongoDB. Then we have the title property, description property, and is completed false that we have created using the backend. So the data that we have sent testing and testing has been saved in our database. It means our endpoint is successfully working. Now we will link this endpoint with our UI. Using that, when we add the title and description in this field and click on the add to do, that data will be stored with our database. So for that, let's come back and we will use the Axios package in the page.js file. So in this page.js file, we have created one function and the function name is onSubmitHandler. And in this try block, we will add the API logic. So first, we will check the form data where we have the title and description. We will send that at the /API endpoint using the post method. For that, here we will add the const response is equal to await, and here we will use the Axios, select it. So this package will be imported here. After this Axios, we will add dot post method, and here we have to provide the address of our endpoint because the endpoint is on our same IP /API endpoint. So simply we will add /API. If we use the Express app, in that case the endpoint will be generated on different IP. But in the Next app on the same IP we can add the API endpoint. So in this post method we are providing this API endpoint address, and with that we are providing the data that we have to send. So we will add the form data. In this form data we have the title and description. After that, when we perform this request, we will get one response, and in that response we will get one message. So we will use that message in this toast notification. So remove this message and here we will add response dot data dot message that we have sent as a response using this JSON method. In this MSG we have to do created. So we will get this data in this success message. After that, we will save the changes, and now we will come back to the web browser. So here, if I add any title like study, and here let's add one description like learn Next.js, and if I click on this add to do button, so here we have the message to do created that we have received after generating from the server. Now we will come back to the database page and we will click on this refresh button. Now we have two to do here. First one that we have added while testing, and this is what we have created using our front end: title, study, description, learn Next.js. After that, here let's add some other to do. Let's add a study, and here we will add another description, do DSA. Click on this button and now we got this notification. Now let's add one more to do. Here we will update the title, it will be must do, and here we will add the description. So the description is subscribe Great Stack. After that we will click on this add to do button. So now again we have this notification to do created, and if I come to database, refresh this web page using this button, and now we have the total 4 to do, that is testing, a study, learn Next.js, a study, to DSA, then must do, subscribe Great Stack. Now we will add the logic. Using that we will show these data on our table. For that we will come back to our VS Code editor and we will open route.js file. Within this get method, we will find all the to-dos from our database and we will store it in our array, and as a response we will send it to our front end. So here we will add const to-dos is equal to await, and here we will add the to-do model dot find method, and here we have to provide the condition, that is which to-do we want to find from the database, but we want all the to-dos. For that we will simply add one empty object. Now all to-dos will be stored in this to-dos array. Now we have to send this to-dos as a response. So here we will add to-dos, and in this to-dos we will simply provide this to-dos, and in this response we are sending one object where we have the to-dos property, and in this to-dos property we are sending this to-dos array. Now we will save this file and we will come back to the web browser. Now what we have to do, when we click on this button, our data is getting saved in the database, but this field is not getting cleared. For that we have to add one logic. So when the to-do gets added, this field should be clear. For that we will come to page.js file, and after creating this notification we have to reset the set form data. So here we will add set form data, and in this one, let's come back. Here we have created one object, so let's copy it and we will paste it here in this set form data. Now when the API will be called, the to-do will be saved, then we will get the message, and after that this title description will be reset. Now come to web browser, and here let's add another title, check, and in the description also I will add check, and click on add to do. Now you can see the message to do created and the title description box has been cleaned. Now what we have to do, let's copy it. We will open it in the new tab and add /API. So here we have one response in which we have to-dos property, and in this one we have one array. Now this data is not looking perfect in our browser, so let's copy this endpoint and we will come to Thunder client. We will click on new request, and here we will paste that API endpoint, and here we will select the get method, then click on send button. Now this data is clearly visible, you can read it clearly. Here we have to-dos property where we have the array, and in this array we have multiple objects. Each object is representing one to-do. Now we have to show these to-do on our web page in this table. For that we will come back in this page.js file, and here First, we will create one state variable where we will store the to-dos data. So here we will add const to-do data. Then we will add the name for the setter function, that will be set to-do data is equal to use state. And in this one we will store one array, so we will initialize it with one empty array. After that we will create one function fetch to do that will hit our endpoint, and our data will be saved in this to do data. So here we will add const fetch to dos, and this will be one asynchronous arrow function. So we will add async arrow function, and here we will use the axios. So we will add const response equal to await axios, and here we will provide /API endpoint. So by default axios will hit the get method, so we have not provided .get here. Now it will generate one response where we will get all the to-do data. So whatever data we are getting in this response, we will save that in this to-do data state. So we will add set to-do data, and in this one we will provide response dot data dot to-dos. So whatever response we are getting, that is coming in this response dot data, and dot to-dos we have added because this array is stored in this to-dos property. So when we run this function, it will hit this API endpoint, and all to-dos data will be stored in this response, and this response dot data will be used to find the to-dos data, and we will set it into to-do data state. After that we have to run this function whenever this component will be loaded. For that, here we will add use effect. In this use effect we will pass one arrow function, and here we will add a square bracket because I want this function to be executed only first time when the web page is loaded. After that we will add the fetch to do function, so it will call this fetch to do function, and in this to do data all to dos from the database will be stored. Now using this data we will display all to dos in this t body tag, that is our table. So let's remove this dummy to do, and here we will add to do data, and here we will use map method, and in this one we will simply add one arrow function where we will add the parameter individual item, and we will also pass one index number. So in this map method we have passed the item and index. So using this item we will display the to-dos. So here we will add the return, and here we will add to-do component, and in this one first we will add the key property, that will be index number. After that, from this item we will find the title, description and is completed data, and we will pass it using the props in the to do component. So first we will pass the title property where we will pass item dot title. After that we will pass the description, and in this one we will pass item dot description. After that we will add complete, and here we will pass item dot is complete. Now let me check the response data. Here we have the is completed, so we will update it item dot is completed. After that, in this data we have this ID also. We will send this ID also using the props. So here we will add Mongo ID, and in this one we will pass item dot underscore id. So here we have sent the id, title, description, is completed data using the props. Now we will send this index number also. So we will add the id, and in this id we will add index that we will display on our UI. So here we have used the key property, and in the props we have added id, title, description, complete status and Mongo ID. After that we will destructure this data in the to-do component. So let's open this todo.jsx file. Here we will destructure those props. So first we will destructure the ID property, then we will destructure the title, then description. After that we will destructure the Mongo ID and then complete status. So we will add complete. So we will get ID, title, description, Mongo ID and complete status. That will be true or false. After that, what we have to do, at this place we have to display the ID. So we will add the ID. So this ID will start from 0. So here we will add +1. After that we have to display the title. So remove it, and here we will add the curly braces, and in this one we will provide the title. Similarly, here we have to provide the title. So let's remove it, and here we will add curly braces and we will provide the description. Here what we have to do, let's remove this pending, and here we will use the ternary operator. And first we will check if the complete is true. It means our task has been completed. In that case we will type completed, and if this complete is false, in that case we will add pending. After that we will save it and we will come back to the web browser. Now reload the web page. So here we have the to-dos displayed on the web page. Now all the to-dos has been loaded from the database. If I create one more to-do here, let's type play games and click on this add to-do. So here we have this message to-do created, but that to-do is not displaying here in this table because our function, that is fetch to-do, is running only once at initial time when the component is loaded. So whenever we are adding a new to-do, this function is not executing. That's why our data is not getting loaded. In that case, we have to call this fetch to-do when a new to-do is added. For that, in this onSubmit handler function, and when we reset the form, after that we have to call the fetch to do's function. We will add await. Now save the changes and come back to the web browser. If I reload the web page, so total we have 6 to-dos. Now if I check for the 7th to-do, let's add checking, and here we will add to-do update feature, and we will click on add to-do button. So here we have received the notification, and at the bottom you can see the 7th to-do has been added, checking to-do update feature. So here we have created 2 routes. Using that we can fetch all the to-dos and we can add the to-do. Now what we will do, we will create one route for this delete button. So when we click on this button, our route will delete that to-do. So here we will create one custom delete handler function. For that, what we will do, we will simply copy this post method and paste it here. And remove this post. Here we will add delete. And here remove this statement also. Now what we have to do, we will send the MongoDB ID from our front end in this request, and using that ID we will find the to-dos and we will delete that. So here we will type const MongoID is equal to await, and here we will use the request dot next URL property, and here we will add dot search params. Then we will use the dot get property, and here we will get the Mongo ID. So we will add Mongo ID. After that, our Mongo ID that we are sending from the front end, that will be stored here in this Mongo ID variable. Using this variable, we will find that to do and then we will delete it from the database. For that, we will use the find ID and delete method that we have in the models. So here we will add await to do model dot find by ID and delete. And here simply we have to provide the Mongo ID. So we have provided the Mongo ID. Now our delete method should work. So in this message we will type to do deleted. Now what we have to do, we will come to page.js function, and here in this fetch to do, after this fetch to do we will add one function and the name will be delete to do. So we will type const delete to do equal to, and this will be one asynchronous arrow function. So we will type async arrow function, and here in this function we will add the Mongo ID as parameter, and then here we will add one request. So we will add const response equal to await, and here we will use axios dot delete. So we are using delete method. So this delete method will accept the parameter. So the first parameter will be API endpoint, that is /API. After that we will provide one object, and in this object we will define the parameters. So here we will add params, and in this parameter we will set the Mongo ID, and we will get the Mongo ID using this parameter. So we have added this Mongo ID in this objects property Mongo ID. Now this Mongo ID name is confusing, so let me change it here. We will add the ID, and here it will be ID. Now when the to do will be deleted, we will display one toast notification. So we will add toast.success, and here we have to provide one message that will be from the response. So we will add response.data.message, and in this message we will get to do deleted if the to do is successfully deleted. When the to do will be deleted, what we have to do, we have to update the front end. So we have to run this fetch to do's function so that our deleted to do will be removed from our UI. So here we will add fetch to do's and call this function. Now this delete to do function is ready, but here we have one problem. The delete button we have in the UI, that is in the to do component, but we have created the function in this page.js file. So simply we have to pass this function using props in this to-do component. So let's scroll down, and here we are returning the to-do. So in this one we have to pass the props. After this MongoID, we will add delete to-do function. We are sending this function as a props. So we will add curly braces and we will add delete to-do. Now we have to destructure this delete to-do in this to-do.jsx file. So after this complete, we will destructure the delete to-do function and scroll down, and here we have the delete button. So here simply add onClick property, and in this one we will pass one arrow function, and here we will call the delete to-do function. In this one we have to provide the MongoID, so let's copy it and paste it here. MongoID, then save the changes. Now come back to the web browser, reload the web page. So here we have all the to-dos. Now let's delete it. First one, click on delete. Now you can see that to-do has been removed, and here we have the toast notification to-do deleted. Now the delete method for this endpoint is working fine. Now let's remove this check, remove this play, remove this one also. So now we have only 3 to do. Now we will come to database and we will refresh it. And now you can see here we have 3 to do. It means our delete handler function is deleting the to-dos from our database. After that, we will add the functionality for this done button. When we click on this button, it will update the is completed from false to true, and in this status it will display completed. For that, let's come back and we will create one custom handler in this route.js file. So let me copy it and paste it here, and here we will use put method where we will update the data in our database. So first we will get the MongoID using the parameters. After that, in this to-do model we have to use the method called find by ID and update. Last time we have used find by ID and delete, and now we are using find by ID and update. After this MongoID, we have to provide the updated data. So here we will provide one object. Here we will use the $set property. So what will happen when we will modify any property here? This function will find the to-do using this ID and it will save the changes. So here we will add is completed and we will set it to true. So we will add is completed true. So what will happen? This find by ID and update method will find the to-do using this MongoID. Then it will update the data, that is completed. It will find the is completed property and it will change it from false to true. After that, here we will generate one message. So the message will be to do completed. Now save the changes. Now we will come here page.js file, and after this delete to do function we will create another function, and the function name will be complete to do. So we will type const complete to do equal to, and here we will create one asynchronous arrow function. So we will type async, and here we will pass the ID parameter, and we will create arrow function, and in this one first we will add the Axios request. So we will type const response equal to await, and here we will add Axios dot put method. In this method, what we will do, first we will provide the endpoint, it is /API. After that we will provide the second parameter, that is data. So in this case we will add one empty object. After that we have to send the configurations. So in this configuration we will send one object, and in this object we will define the params, that will be one object, and in this object we will store the Mongo ID, and in this Mongo ID we will provide the ID that we have received from this parameter. After that we will get one response also. So using that response we can display one toast notification. So we will type toast.success, and in this one we will provide response.data.message that we will set as a response from our API endpoint. After doing this, our data from is completed property will become true from false. After that, we will again call the fetch to-dos function, so that in the UI we will get updated data. Now we have created this function in page.js file. We have to pass this function in todos.jsx file. So let's scroll down here in this to-do component, and here we will pass the complete to-do equal to curly braces, and in this one we will pass the complete to-do function. Now we will come to todo.jsx file, and here we will destructure that function. So after this delete to do, we will add complete to do, and we will come here at the bottom. In this button tag we will add onClick property, and here we will pass one arrow function, and in this arrow function we will call that complete to do function, and in this one we have to provide the Mongo ID. So we will type Mongo ID and save the changes. Now we will come back to the web browser and we will reload the web page. After that, what we will do, we will click on this done button. So you can see the message to do completed, and here in this status you can see completed. Next, what we have to do, we have to add one line through property on this title and description, so that it will look like this to do has been completed. After changing the status completed, we don't require this done button, so we will disable this done button. For that, let's come back and come here in todo.jsx file, and here in this class name, here we will provide the dynamic class name. Using that we can provide the line through class name. So here we will simply add one curly braces, and here we will remove it and we will add the backticks. So after these two CSS class name, we will add $sign curly braces, and here first we will check if the complete is true. It means the to do is completed. In that case we will add one class name, that is line through, and if false, it means to do is incomplete. In that case we will simply pass one empty string. Now let's copy this and we will paste it in this description also. Save the changes. Now we will come back to the web browser. Now in this title and description you can see the line through effect. Next, what we have to do, we have to remove this done button from here when the status is completed. For that, let's come back. Before this button tag we will use the ternary operator. So we will add curly braces complete, and if this complete is true, in that case we will add one empty string because the complete is true. And If this complete is false, it means the done button is required. In that case, we will add colon, and after that we will place this button. So let's remove this button and place it here after this colon. Now save the changes and we will come back to the web page. So here you can see the first done button has been removed. If I click on the done button for the second one, you can see to do completed. A status has become completed. Now we have only delete button. Now if I click on delete button, that to do will be deleted. After that, here we have the last to do, which is must do, that is subscribe Great Stack. Now you can also create your own to-do app using Next.js. Just create your own to-do app, then click on this done button. So in this tutorial, we have learned some basic concepts of Next.js, and with that we have created the full stack to-do application using the API routes, where we have used the MongoDB database where all the data are stored. So I hope this video will be helpful for you. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section. Please like and share this video, and also subscribe my channel Great Stack. Thank you so much for watching this video.